fiends. Welcome back to another episode of the Horror Ghouls, where we do ghoulish things and we review ghoulish movies here and there. We also have some experiences and other things going on, but we are here for your entertainment. And if this is your first time, welcome to the madness. We hope that you join our spooky little tribe here. But today, let's talk about what we're doing. We are diving into Alien from 1979,
Mm.
directed by Ridley Scott. And this is a film that didn't just redefine sci fi horror, it quietly built one of the most complete character arcs in the genre, anchored by Ripley, who's our main character, her intelligence, instinct, and survival focus. So, I know briefly before we started here, you were talking about how you feel about sci-fi. Do you have any like feelings about sci-fi, and have you seen any of the other movies in this franchise?
I'm not a space girl. Not really a space girl. Star Wars, that's fine. Grew up with a dad, made me watch Star Wars, Star Trek, all that. I've actually never seen this movie all the way through. I have not even seen Predator all the way through ever.
See what?
Predator.
Oh, oh,
Yeah. So just not my usual thing. But yeah, and I haven't seen any of the other movies to answer your question within this franchise, so no, no. It's all new.
okay,
I mean,
okay,
but it's I know of them and like the
right,
lore. Do you know what I mean? I'm not totally like,
yeah,
what is this?
yeah, no,
What? Yeah. So
okay. Well, I am definitely a space girl. As y'all know, I always want the aliens to come take me, except for E.T. and E.T. Jesus. Both of them can stay away, but I do love a
unless
good
those are the only ones there are, just
Yeah,
saying.
hopefully not. But but like I do love Predator is probably one of my favorite space characters, but I watch Star Wars, Star Trek, like what is it? Stargate. And
All the stars.
I've seen a lot of these movies later on. Like I didn't see the original like one or two all the way through. I have seen three, I believe. And then after that, I was like Alien versus Predator, and I've seen the prequels that came out too. So, I mean, we'll talk a little bit about some of that when we go through this. And by the end of this, if you guys didn't know about Alien, you might know a little bit more about Alien.
We
Not trying to
hope.
convert, right? Not trying to convert anybody per se, but
We are.
you
We
never
are.
know.
You don't have to hide it. It's okay. Just
You
let it
never
out.
know. All right, well, before we jump in, let's meet the crew of the Nostromo. So we have Tom Skerritt, who plays Dallas. He is the captain of the ship. Then we have Sigourney Weaver, who is Ellen Ripley. We have Veronica Cartwright, who plays Lambert. Harry Dean Stanton, who plays Brett, and Ian Holm, who plays Ash. And then we also have, sorry, Yaphet Kotto. I think that's how you say his name, and he is Parker. So
Can you tell us who plays the cat?
there are many cats. There are multiple cats. They didn't name
Okay.
any of them. I'll tell the fun fact right now for that because
Oh.
I didn't actually put it in my fun facts, so
Hmm.
I can just say this. So there is a cat in this movie, and throughout the movie, there's parts where the cat has to be found, but the cats were not agreeable. So they had multiple cats that they were trying to get them to do certain things, and like some of them were actually just hissing because they were like mad, didn't want to do it. So yeah,
You're not my real mom. Yeah,
they
like
had plenty of different cats. So, and I was surprised because I'm like, they look similar, like whatever, however many cats they had, they didn't specify, but
they
yeah,
were orange. That's all we know. That's it.
right. And
Yeah.
I feel like the one that is at the end with Ripley, because I'm not spoiling anything, because I have a new format for you guys today. So um but I feel like that cat was definitely the most docile out of all of them because the other ones were like definitely hissing and stuff like that.
Mm.
They blew air in one of the cat's faces to make it like look scared and move back because like this. Um, because other than that, the cats were just like, why am I
That,
here?
that's cats for you. Yeah.
Yes.
Hmm.
So that is who plays the cat of many cats. Many Cats is the name.
Many cats. Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
Ian Holm, in particular, who plays Ash, Ash is a science officer and he's also an android, which is something that you don't know in the beginning of this movie. This is very interesting because throughout the movie, he is a hidden threat because he's calm, he's calculating, and he's very indifferent to human life in a way that echoes the synthetic intelligence that we have seen in the prequels, though this came first. So technically, the prequels are mirroring this, but if we're going chronologically, that's what it's doing. We'll see that there's some tension between he and Ripley going forward. Now, just speaking about the franchise really quickly, Alien 1979 is the blueprint where the dread begins, Ripley is introduced, and themes of survival versus corporate greed are cemented. That's pretty much what the movie is about.
It's almost like 2026.
Right? Oh,
Whoa,
right?
it's crazy.
So, when we're talking about the franchise in general, there are other androids like, well, there's one named David who is in the movie Prometheus. Um, he's curious, experimental, unbound by orders. And by the time we meet Ash on the Nostromo, they're still the same kind of intelligent being, but now they are tethered to corporate directives. They're calm and precise. They're made to look more human because if you see David, David is very stiff. You know that he's an android by how he moves and he walks and whatnot or talks. Ash comes off human quite a bit. So if you see the movie at first, you really don't think that he is an
Mm-mm.
android at all. Now, the tension I was talking about, her procedural intelligence is what keeps the crew alive while she's navigating the monsters outside and the one that's actually inside with her because she seems to be the only one with common sense. So, with that being said, just to set a little bit up because there are things, but
There are things.
we'll go through this short movie recap. So, first, we see the Nostromo. It is a commercial towing vessel, and the crew members all awake from hypersleep. And it turns out that their onboard like computer. I'm just going to call it the onboard computer.
Sure.
It's like Siri or something, right? She's called Mother, and she has intercepted a distress signal from a planet called LV-426 or LV-426. And the crew they're like, wait a minute, we just do like freight stuff. We're not trying to get into rescue missions or anything. But they find out due to Ash telling them they're contractually obligated to investigate or they will forfeit all their pay. And Parker has been very, very adamant, like he wants to know about the pay, which also sounds like 2026. Unfortunately, they do have to land on the moon of this place to investigate. The team splits up, and Dallas, Kane, and Lambert explore a massive alien spacecraft. And Kane, he wanders off. He discovers a chamber full of strange eggs, and he's like touching it and whatnot, and should have been minding his business. It opens. To our surprise, he gets a face hugger right to the face. Okay.
Do you know what I said? Sorry to interrupt.
No, no, go ahead.
I said, that's what happens when you do that. That's just like,
That's
play
what you get.
stupid
Right,
games.
right. Win stupid prizes. Your prize was a
Yeah.
face hugger. And so, just to explain what a face hugger is for people who don't know, a
It
face
hugs your
hugger,
face.
literally, but it also I did read somewhere that the aliens are meant to be sexual in nature, like the parts of them are meant to be sexual. So when I'm explaining this to you, just understand that there's a sexual aspect. The face hugger is a big giant thing. It looks like a lobster almost. It
I'm
has a
gonna
lo-
say
Go
it
ahead.
looks like a horseshoe crab spider, like
Possibly.
the underneath.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it has a phallus that goes down
I feel like I should
the
be humming sexual healing while you explain this, but go on.
it has a you can't have a gag
Baby.
reflex with this.
Huh.
Um he has the face hugger has a phallus that goes down the person's throat and
Ugh.
basically impregnates it. And once it finished impregnating its incubation center, because a human is just an incubator. So
Ugh.
once it impregnates, it dies and falls off. We know Kane has the face hugger on his face. So the team, they go back to the Nostromo. They have Kane with him, but he's unconscious. Ripley is the acting senior officer when Dallas is not on board. And she's like, what's wrong with him? And they say, oh, something happened to him. He has a life form attached to his face. We have to get him in there. And Ripley, following procedure, is like, no, there's a 24-hour quarantine. No. And so they're like, he might die. And she's like, I don't care. No. Now, Ash is standing near the airlock where the other team members are trying to convince Ripley to let them in. Ash overrides her and lets them in anyway. Right now, you can see like there's a little hostility here because Ripley is like, listen, this is about procedure, it's about survival. Now we all might die. And Ash is like, so what? We just need to figure out what that specimen is. We just need to bring it in. I am the science officer here, so we need to see what this is. They bring Kane in and they try to get the face hugger off of his face, and they find that if they try to cut it, it will try to strangle Kane. And then additionally, if you try to cut it again, acid will come out of its body and burn through floors, hands, arms, eyes, legs, whatever.
And butts.
Yeah,
Yep.
definitely three butts. Ash says that the facehugger is also feeding oxygen to Kane. Now, honestly, I don't know if that was true. I think that that's what Ash was assuming that he was doing, like a incubator tube, like when
It
you
was just
intubate
feeding him a
somebody.
weirdo baby. That's all it was doing. So,
Yeah, yeah.
mm.
So like I said, eventually this creature does detach itself and die, and Kane is sitting up, appearing healthy, and he's like, I'm very hungry. So they all get to the table and they're having a nice little feast on whatever space food they have, which isn't the best. But Kane looks like he's very, very hungry, like a pregnant woman. And during this celebratory like get together, Kane starts to look like he's choking, and then he starts convulsing. They think he's having a seizure, and then eventually a violent chest burster bursts out his chest and runs away. Now, the chest burster is a baby alien. Okay, it is the
Uh,
first version of the alien. To me, I honestly feel like the alien has two mouths. Like there's a little head mouth that comes out, and then there's a big mouth. I feel
mhm.
like the baby is still the little mouth, and then it just grows a bigger one. I don't know.
Around it. I don't know.
Yes,
Yeah.
but either way, it's the design of both the face hugger and the chest burster and the alien. They are all designed to look wet on purpose, so that you can get this feeling of unease. So when you see the chest burster come out of his chest, it's like, oh, uh. And also, fun fact, that scene was a complete surprise to everyone on set,
Oh no.
including Kane. He knew that something was going to happen. He just didn't know what.
Oh no.
And the woman who plays Lambert, she gets hit in the face with blood and she screams, and it's her real reaction because she didn't
Oh
know, and it just hits her all in the face.
my
But
God.
unfortunately, they had to do that scene many, many, many times. And everyone complained that the blood and the goo that comes out stank really bad. Don't know what it was, but it was very smelly, and they had to reset and redo that over and over and over again. So,
Ugh.
but they did take that first take of her getting splashed in the face with blood because it was so good because it was natural.
Yeah.
But yeah, none of them knew. None of them knew.
Damn.
I'm like, I love like movies that do that so you can get a genuine
Yes.
reaction. But at the same time, if I was the actor, I'd be pissed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm like, it got in my mouth. What's
How
wrong with
dare
you?
you? Yeah,
Right?
no.
But yeah, our little baby alien escapes into the ship somewhere, and we have our first death, which is Kane. This is where things start to actually turn into a bit more of a horror movie. The crew, they decide to split up and they're going to track this alien. The alien is called a xenomorph. And so it's rapidly maturing and becoming a big xenomorph, which is not good. They are
No.
very scary. One of the characters, Brett, he's searching for the cat. Cat's name is Jones. He's looking for Jones. He's calling for Jones. He eventually finds Jones, but Jones is hissing. Jones is backing up because behind Brett, here we have our xenomorph coming in. And it's the first time you actually see him. Throughout this movie, it's interesting, like many other movies that we talked about, the xenomorph is not shown a lot. He does not have a lot of screen time. He's always shown in shadow, and that's kind of to increase the mystery. And also, The person who was inside the xenomorph suit was tall and he could not fit in the frame of the camera. So they used whatever they could. He was
Right.
a student or something, and he was just very tall and he was very like lanky, and they thought that it would be best to have a human inside of this suit. So I never even thought that a human was inside the suit. I never realized that,
Mm.
but that is what's going on. So
Huh.
at that point, Brett is killed, and that's our second death. At this point, the creature, our xenomorph, is fully grown. So that might have been a matter of maybe, I'm going to say maybe an hour at most.
Yeah,
At
not a long
most.
time.
Yeah. At this point, they come up with another plan. They know that the alien is traveling through the air ducts. So Dallas is like, I'm going to go into the air ducts with a flamethrower. And because Ash said, well, perhaps the specimen is afraid of fire. So he's going to go and flush the alien out so that they can push it out the airlock and be done with it. However, this plan fails because Lambert is trying to track him on some type of like sonar type thing. She can see the alien at first and she sees Dallas, but then basically there's the little dots for them are overlapping. So she's like, oh God, it's like right there. But she can't tell him where because she doesn't know exactly. Dallas is looking all around. All of a sudden, he's disconnected from the rest of the crew and they just find the flamethrower. That gives us our third death, Dallas.
I do have a weird thing about the Dallas thing. So when
Yes.
they show our xenomorph, because they do show it in Dallas's death, it's basically like right next to him, and it
Hmm.
gets illuminated. It was a little campy for me because the xenomorph like reached out, like almost like with like
Yeah.
not real hands, but like almost as if he was popping out at a haunted house. That was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's a little tacky. Like I did not expect it, but I just thought it was funny because it is still like a scare because it's dark, right? And then he turns and it's like, huh. But it's like, oh, that's like
That is
he
funny
he
though.
almost had
Yeah.
like Creature from the Black Lagoon hands, I want to say.
Yes. Yeah, it was kind of
Um,
webbed.
yeah, but I was just like, oh, okay, all right. Well, that was interesting.
It's like, oh, that was a personal choice to do that right there.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. Well,
That's
all right.
probably just like the human inside is like, I don't really know how to do this because I don't believe that that guy
Ha.
was an actor either. He was just chosen for this thing. They said, now you're gonna scare Dallas.
They're like, how do you scare someone? And he's just like, huh, that's all I got.
So,
That's it.
right. They're like,
Yeah,
all right, one take, you're good. He's dead.
good enough.
At this point, all of the leadership is gone, and Ripley is now in charge of the ship. And she's getting some pushback from Parker, who is he's always been very strong-willed. He's outspoken. And so he's a little pissed off because his friends are dying. And he's just like, I just want to kill it. I don't care what we do. I just want to kill it. And she's like, we're going to kill it. But before we kill it, I need to go talk to Mother. And they talk to Mother in this room that looks very, very much different from the rest of the Nostromo. The Nostromo, if you think about it, it's the equivalent of like a blue collar working type area, like a factory. It's
Hmm.
very dark. It has steam and stuff. It's very industrial looking. But when you go to speak to Mother, it looks like you're on like the Starship Enterprise or something. It's
Yes,
very light. It's bright. It has a lot of lights, and it
I agree.
looks very much different from the rest of the Nostromo. But she goes in and she eventually figures out what's going on because she gets blocked at one point. Mother's like, you don't have access to this. Only the science officer can read whatever this message is. And she overrides it. And she finds out that there's a special order 937. The alien organism is to be returned to Earth for study, and the crew is expendable. So at any cost. No one on the crew knows that Ash is an android yet, but they're about to find out because as Ripley's reading that, Ash is somehow snuck in and is like right there. Because I was like, how the hell did he get there? Where did he come from? And she confronts him. He's like, yeah, you know what it said? And he attacks her, trying to kill her. And he has her on the ground, and I feel like he rolled up like a magazine and was like put in her mouth. I was like, what is that? What is going
Yeah, I
on?
was like, that's a weird choice, but I knew something was wrong with him
Hmm.
when right before the news, the weird, I was like, is he gonna hit her like a dog? Like, what is he gonna? I was confused. But before that, when they were face to face, because they're both like sweating a little bit, but he had white like this
Yes.
that I was like, is there like a face hugger in him that's like controlling his breath? Like I didn't know what was happening, but I knew something was wrong because of the white beads that I was like, something. And then the newspaper
Yeah.
thing too, where he's just like trying to choke her with a rolled up magazine or something. That was like, all right.
Yeah. And interestingly enough, throughout the movie, you see Ash drinking something white. It looks like milk. He doesn't really eat with the rest of the crew, but you do see him drinking this milk.
Is
And
it face
it's
hugger juice?
no, it's some type of android lubrication type stuff. It's basic.
WD-40?
It's yes. It's oh, it's the it's their version of blood. It's weird that he was like bleeding blood for no reason because they didn't fight at that point.
Right.
It was just
He was just sweating it out, sweating to the
yeah,
oldies.
just
Yeah.
sweating his blood, I mean.
Yeah, that doesn't
Um
everyone do that?
yeah, of course.
Totally normal. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. He's trying to choke her or something with this rolled up newspaper. I don't know what was going on with that,
So
honestly.
weird.
And the thing about it is, and you don't really get it from the scene, you get this more and you understand it more when you see the prequels, which came out decades later. But the androids are strong. They're very, very strong. They're
Yes.
unassuming, but they're extremely strong. So the fact that he's trying to push this rolled up newspaper into her mouth to choke her to death, it is he's put some strength into it. So the other crew members that are left, they come running in and they're like trying to save Ripley and everything. And eventually they decapitate Ash. And that reveals that he is an android. All of his white fluids everywhere. It's a very gory looking scene. And if it were blood, it would be horrible. It would be really bad if it was blood. But because
Or
it's
excellent if you're
yes,
me.
yes. Oh, listen, or me in a movie. In real life, no. But in a movie, yes.
Are you sure? Because I feel like in a lot of
Yes.
movies, you're like, it's hard to get through all the
No, no,
blood.
no, no, no. It's hard for me to see people drinking blood out of somebody's arm or neck or
Okay.
something. It's the
Okay.
vampire stuff that bothers me. But
Gotcha.
I can, all other blood, gore stuff,
That's fine.
guts, brain matter, I'm cool with all that.
All right. I
Um,
like it.
yeah, but uh, not, not the vampire drinking blood stuff.
No. Okay.
Um, he's decapitated and they're like, okay, put him back together for a second, like plug him in because maybe he's going to tell us how to kill this species. And so they plug him back in. Ash starts talking and he's saying like he admires the purity of the being. He loves the fact that it has a lack of morality. It's as strong as it is ferocious and it will basically kill indiscriminately. And he loves that. And then they said, well, how do we kill it? He said, I don't know. He said, but however, he basically said to them, may the odds be ever in your favor. Because he was
Go
like,
with God.
right.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't tell you your survival chances, but may God be with you. All right. Basically saying y'all gonna die. So
Yeah.
they basically unplug him and say, fuck you, man, and leave. Now, Ash is destroyed. He's already been ripped apart and everything. And Parker turns around and flame throws fire at him until his synthetic skin melts, which is interesting because if he was the actual android in that scene, you would have seen like the eyes and stuff, but you see like a plaster type
Yeah,
like
yeah.
thing underneath. And I was like, it was 1979 for this
It
time.
was.
Let me not judge that. Let me not judge it.
Yeah.
Let me
Let's
take
overlook it.
Yes, let me take off my Virgo crown and and not think about that. At this point, they're like, okay, what do we need to do? They talk about setting off a self-destruct sequence. Ripley asked Parker, like, how long do we have? And he said, once you detonate it, 10 minutes. Like, that's it. You have 10 minutes. She's like, okay. She goes to look for Henry. No, Jonesy, sorry, Jones. I don't know why I called him Henry.
Henry,
Right.
Henry.
Which one of those cat, whatever cat it was, Jones
Jones,
goes to look
Jones.
for Jones.
Well, they do occasionally call him Jonesy, so perhaps
Yes.
that's where you, boop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She goes to look for him and she's kind of getting stuff together because they have to also get some coolant or whatnot. They have to get a bunch of it. And so Lambert and Parker go to do that. And while they're in this space together, the xenomorph comes up.
Yeah.
Lambert is like a deer stuck in headlights in this moment. Parker's like, move out the way, move out the way, because I guess he was going to flame torch it, and she wouldn't move. And in my mind, I'm like, I'd have flame torched them both because get out the way. But she essentially she is the reason why Both of them died. Here's another sexual aspect of it, which is kind of bad. As you're watching this scene, the xenomorph has like a scorpion-like tail that goes up and in between her legs. You never see what happens, but you hear her screaming very
Oh my
loudly
God, what?
afterwards. Yes, for whatever reason, this the alien is very sexual. All the parts of the alien are sexual in nature. That's just how they behave. So there's that little tidbit. I said, "Oh,
Uh, all
that's
right.
a
That's
that's something."
information I didn't necessarily need to have, but I have it now, and I'm
Yes.
not entirely sure what to do with that.
You're
But
welcome.
yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
now we know that. So,
At this point, Ripley is the sole surviving crew member. She does go through and arms the Nostromo self-destruct sequence. She hears that you have 5 minutes before, like, you can't stop this. So Mother is counting down for her. She attempts to escape. She has Jones. She puts him in a little carrier. She tries to escape, but the xenomorph is blocking her path. So then she's like, oh shit, well, how am I gonna get there? All of a sudden she decides I'm gonna just abort the self-destruct. Like I'm just not gonna do it. And she starts running around trying to deactivate it, which is a process within itself. You have to like pull some levers down, and then you have to take some like pin things and pull up these big canisters, and then you have to do the opposite to get them to finish. However, as she's doing this, she runs out of time. And Mother's like, sorry, bitch, you ran out of time. Your 5 minutes is up. You now have T minus 5 minutes to get off the ship or you're gonna blow up. And Ripley's pissed off at Mother. She just starts screaming at her and she basically knocks a computer down or something just in anger. She's like, you know what? We're just gonna have to try it. She gets Jones again, they run, and guess what? The xenomorph is gone. It's not in front of the shuttle anymore. So she gets into the pod. They go through the, sequence of getting off the Nostromo. She gets a safe distance away. Nostromo basically blows up. There's that. So she is now getting herself and Jones ready to go into hypersleep again. And she puts him in the little thing and she closes the top and she gets undressed because when they go into these chambers, they are basically in their underwear. People kind of complained about this because they said, "Oh, you're sexualizing her." But then there was other people that said like this isn't a sexual scene. It's not
mm-mm.
sexualizing her. It's literally procedure of what she does. And the
Right.
whole movie she was not sexualized. So it's like, let's not try to sexualize her now, even though half her butt was hanging out of her panties.
I
But
agree with that. It's how they came out of the pods to begin
right,
with.
right,
So she's just
exactly.
going back in. So
Right,
shut up, everyone. Sorry. Go on.
right. She's getting comfortable and she's about to do something. She all of a sudden sees our friend, the xenomorph, has blended in with the dark background and is like taking a nap or something. He's just chilling over there.
Yeah, his head wasn't his head like down on the
Yes.
side,
Yeah,
like,
like he was like
and he has like
sleep.
a big ass, like weird, long, like balloon head too,
Yeah.
like one that you would see a magician at a party. Like,
It's like a sperm whale, too.
yeah,
Like, have you
sure.
ever seen a
Sperm.
I just everything sexual. I'm sorry. I'm just saying,
I
like,
was, I was
let's
just really not expecting
wait. I need to now look up to make sure that I mean sperm whale because
that.
it would be too weird if I just said that because everything's been sexual and
You're
I
like, you
don't
know
mean.
what? It actually looks like a sperm whale. How do you
Wait,
like
hold
that?
on. Okay, yes,
Okay.
it does look like a sperm whale. I will put
Okay.
something on the screen somewhere so you can see what sperm whale looks like. Yes. But it does kind of have that same smooth, rounded balloon animal at a party type head. Eh,
AKA a sperm
yes.
whale.
So Ripley is like,
Hmm.
oh, fuck no. She very calmly walks over to this area where she can put on the spacesuit that keeps them alive when they're outside of the ship. She says, you know what? I'm about to blast this motherfucker in space, okay? She sits down, she straps herself down in this seat, and the xenomorph is moving closer to her. It's like behind her, and she's putting in some type of code. And as the xenomorph is right next to her, and she turns her head inside the suit to the point where her head is like almost gone because she's looking all the way over here at the xenomorph. She hits this button and the doors open. Stuff starts flying. The xenomorph is like, oh, not that quickly, not that quickly. He starts holding on to the door. And so it's like, really? You gonna hold on to the door? She gets him out. She gets him out, closes the door. he's trying to come in through the exhaust. He's like, I'm not giving up. He's like, I'm coming in somewhere. I'm coming
He
in through
said, "Not today.
yeah,
Not
it's
you don't
either
not getting rid of me that fast."
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like the exhaust or the engines, whatever.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
But she's like, I'm going to go ahead and fire you up then.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And she turns on the engines or whatever. And finally, our xenomorph is blasted into space further away. And
Hooray.
yes, and can't come back into the shuttle, which
Right.
he was very smart. He's very, this is, these aliens are
Well,
rather smart.
to be fair, they do have two heads or
True,
mouths, but I
true.
assume maybe both mouths have brains. I don't know. I'm just saying things.
I don't know, but they're very adaptive. They
Yeah.
pay attention to surroundings, they pay attention to other creatures, and they adapt to whatever
Mm-hmm.
environment they're in.
Mm-hmm.
This one was like, "Oh, you're trying to get off this, trying to get off of here? I hear some stuff going on. I'm leaving too. You're not gonna take me out, and I'm gonna take you out, and we just gonna be in this ship." Because he really was a stowaway. He literally was a stowaway. It's just like, how'd you get your big ass back there? How?
Right.
Because the xenomorph is over 6 feet. It's well over 6 feet, probably
Hot.
closer to 7 feet actually.
Sorry. Hotter. Hotter still.
Burning up.
I'm like, wow.
Hmm.
I'm like, how tall are you? 6'8"?
His
Wow.
little mouth will come out.
I'm like, that's so crazy. Twirling my hair.
I
What do
mean,
you like to do
really.
for fun? Um,
You know what? I've done that before.
which part?
The all That's the part I've done before. Oh God.
Okay, all right. Whew.
So at this point, Ripley is like, I'm good. Okay.
hmm
She gets herself together. She starts recording a final log entry. She sets a course for another area and she enters hypersleep with Jones. And that is the end of our
Finn.
movie. Yes.
Yes, it is.
I'm going to ask you, what did you like or dislike about the movie? What did you think about Alien?
I actually liked it a lot more than I thought I would. So I don't know. I don't want to ruin any of your fun facts if there
No,
are
go
fun
ahead.
facts.
No,
I
go
mean,
ahead.
I don't have any like legitimate like facts, but I know that H.R. Geiger, the artist, created the
Hmm.
xenomorph, and you can see kind of the influences of his art. His art's very wacky. Even in the ship, like when they first got to the planet, and you can see all of the structure and everything they built for like this
Yeah.
alien culture, like whatever. So I really did enjoy kind of seeing his work live,
Yeah. And
for lack of a better name.
I believe the book that they kind of referenced to was the Necronomicon too.
Necronomicon?
I don't know how to say it. I just see Necra and then Con at the end. But
I don't know. I don't know about that one.
yeah,
Maybe.
I've read it a few times, but I think that's where they got it from. But yeah, the artwork is really, really
He's a
nice.
very
It's good.
impressive artist, and what a thing to create. Do you know what I mean? It's really just insane. It was a movie that, like you're saying, redefined so much. Sigourney Weaver was incredible. One of the things as an animal lover and a cat lover that I loved is that she spent like the last quarter of the movie trying to find the fucking cat and save it.
That was a fan favorite thing too. They
That's
loved the
my
fact that she
girl.
did that.
Yeah, I've heard of that before. Like I said, I've heard elements of this story in this movie, but just to see it, where she's like, I know there's a giant, terrifying alien with multiple heads and a wiener spear thing, but I'm gonna find this cat and we're gonna make it together. So I was like, respect. Chestburster's a classic. Facehugger's a classic. There's so many good parts of it. So I liked more than I didn't like because, like I said, in general, I'm not like a space girl, but I thought it was solid. There's not like a lot of bad things to say. Like some of the effects were a little, but for the time, like
Right.
I'm overlooking them. So that's my very short kind of sum up. What about you?
This was my first time seeing it in its totality at one time. I've seen plenty of the like scenes in the movie and I knew what the ending was, I knew plot points and whatnot. But yeah, I actually enjoyed watching this more than I imagined I would.
Yeah.
I'm not into the 70s movies really. Texas
Like Texas
Chainsaw
Chainsaw
Massacre.
Massacre.
I'm looking at you, Toby.
Ugh.
Yeah,
I just read
so
something else about him the other day. Go on.
oh my God.
I
So
know.
so yeah, but I enjoyed it. I'll say that I really did like the characters, even though there was not much character development in this. The
No.
most developed character is Ripley.
Mm-hmm.
And her personality is just very straightforward. You're not getting a lot from her. She's
She's
very
probably a
strong.
Virgo. She's Earth
Probably.
sign. She's like,
She's
these are the rules.
pretty
Follow
much.
the rules.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
She's like, that's not in the handbook. That's not procedure. She's
Hmm.
very, very strict like that. And that makes her a good character and made her a
Yeah.
quote unquote final girl without her having the final girl tropes, which is
Right.
great. I will say there's one character that got on my damn nerves, and that's Lambert. She screamed like Shelley Duvall in the
Oh
damn
no.
Shining. Uh, at one point, she was just like crying. She looked like her even.
Poor Shelley Duvall.
I was like, is that Shelley Duvall? Because right now this bitch is going off. Like
Uh.
Jack is getting ready to come get her. I really was. I was
Hi, I'm
so
Shelley Duvall. Sorry, go on.
I was so put off by her throughout the entire movie. And my thing about this is, you're a space officer person, whatever the case may be.
Cowboy.
Why are you acting that scared? And I understand their whole thing is they're freight. They're freight carriers. They don't really come across aliens like that. I get it. But at the same time, everyone else is holding their shit together for the most part. Hold your shit together too. Like you got so scared, you got both of you killed because
Right.
Duke Parker couldn't blow the alien to smithereens because you
Right.
wouldn't move. So, she got on my
I
nerves, but I will
feel
say
you.
that I do knowing what I know about the prequels and whatnot, I do like this movie and I like how it's set up. I liked Ash, because Ash is very different from David.
Hmm.
David is conniving, and you can tell that there's something in his face, and he's played by Michael Fassbender. Something in his face looks like he's always trying to deceive you. And so
Mm,
he's a creepy android, which is the earlier version of Ash. So by the time we get
gotcha.
to Ash, Ash is like normal. And technically they made Ash to be a spy. That's what it
Right.
was. So yeah, I thought that the movie was well done. I also think that it moved quickly. It wasn't
Hmm.
dragging. Everything was interesting. This was one of those movies where I actually sat and watched it the entire time. I like to get up and walk around, but
A wanderer. Yes.
right. But yeah, so I thought it was good. I thought it was good.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah. Now that we saw everything and how it unfolded, it is very interesting. Like when think about the very beginning of the movie,
Right.
when Mother brings everybody out of hypersleep and she's like, there's a distress signal and whatnot. All of this was a setup. Like in the very beginning, you don't think that because it seems like a distress call and everything like that. But Mother and Ash were working together to get this alien species. And you don't know it when you first watch the movie because the very first thing is them coming out of hypersleep.
Right.
Um, and so they're basically Ripley, the crew, and everybody, they're fighting against a system that's fully aware of danger and don't care about human life. They're totally indifferent to it. It does make the earlier scenes in the movie like stand out a bit more. Like you go back and you think like, damn, that's what he was doing, or
Right.
whatever. Yeah,
I got that. Mhm.
very interesting. But now I'm going to go into some of the budget for this movie. The budget was modest, but the payoff was great. This was made for around $11 million and grossed over 100 million worldwide.
Holy moly.
Yeah, this wasn't even expected to be a franchise like Juggernaut. It was just a contained sci-fi film that blew up, and the success from it just created this whole franchise world. And it was successful because it was atmosphere and execution, and it wasn't spectacle per se. It wasn't just flashy aliens or flashy spaceships or anything like that. It was
Right.
gritty, it was atmospheric,
It was
and
gritty. Sorry.
yeah,
You know who
yeah,
I'm thinking about.
yes.
The Philadelphia Flyers mascot, everyone. Hockey. Sorry. He's a chaos muppet and I love him. Continue. Sorry.
But no,
So sorry.
it is very gritty, and it's a nice tone. It's a space or sci-fi story that I think even people like yourself, people who aren't really into space stuff, they can watch it because it's not just about space. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
like, oh, we're looking at stars, or oh, we're going to planets and talking a whole bunch of different aliens. Like no, they literally are going somewhere. It's as if somebody was driving in a car, they go to this house and then like a killer's in there. It's the same exact thing, really. But just to put in perspective, this beginning franchise had three movies. It's Alien from 1979, Aliens from 1986, and then Alien 3 from 1992. Now, Aliens made it was the budget was 18 million and they made 183 million gross. Alien 3, their budget was 50 million and they made 150 million gross. Now, in the entire franchise, the most successful movie was Prometheus. That's from 2012. It is the prequel with David. The budget for that was $130 million, and they made 403 million worldwide. Now, despite that being the most financially profitable movie, it is not liked like that. Alien from
Mm,
1979 is actually the most liked movie. And the series with Alien, Aliens, and Alien 3, they're basically the core of everything. And people prefer that over all of the other expansions, which includes Alien versus Predator and did the prequels and things. And it's interesting because if we look at the movies that technically like the prequels, they started off with philosophy and it's very like they're talking about creation
right.
and creation of the gods who did the xenomorph. It's very philosophical. It doesn't quite feel like the same gritty, dark nature of Alien. So it's interesting that they decided to make these prequels really bright and pretty and, you know, starship as classic starship because everything's like white
Right.
everywhere. They have all this technology, and obviously there's a difference between 2012 and 27 and 1979.
I'll
So
say.
1979 can't even compare to the budget. Their budget was 130. Aliens budget was 11 million. So, you know, they did the best of what they could, but no matter what was going on with Prometheus and the movie that came after Prometheus, it just didn't work for people at all.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Yeah. So I do have some fun facts, just a few.
Love it.
Yes. So I already told you about the chest bursters, so I don't have to tell you about that again. And Sigourney Weaver was not the first choice for Ripley. And in fact, Ripley was though Ripley the character was written as gender neutral, many men were auditioning for this role and they were thinking Ripley would be a man. But Sigourney Weaver, how she, did her test, she had intelligence and composure. She played Ripley as a very straightforward character. And Ridley Scott fell in love with her portrayal and said, you have it. She's written as a female hero and like the most competent person in the room, as opposed to when you have a lot of final girls, they're not the most competent in the room a lot of times. They're just the lucky one a
Oh,
lot of
my
times,
ankle. I
right?
fell. Shut up.
Right. It's
Sorry.
like, girl, you know, that
Yeah.
just reminded me that another Scream movie is coming out and I want to just throw up all over
Scream
it.
7.
I'm over it. I was out after the last one, so
I'll
I
probably go
can't.
see it. I
I will
probably
not.
will.
I will not. I will not. I wasted my money on the last one and it was stupid. So no, I'm not gonna do it.
I wasn't crazy about the last one.
Mm-mm.
I feel like there's cat hair all over my face and it's driving me crazy. Anyway, sorry. Come on.
That's fine. It's
Is
a
that's
podcast. It's
my fun
stupid.
facts.
Fun
That's
fact.
my fun facts.
Um, So the Nostromo was designed to be industrial and not futuristic. And that's what I was talking about earlier. Ridley Scott intentionally avoided the clean, shiny sci-fi look that was very popular at the time. The Nostromo looks like a working cargo ship with pipes, chains, grease, steam. The crew is at a messy table. The crew looks messy themselves. They're not polished. None of them have like super great uniforms on. They're like a family. They argue, they complain, they're close though. The grounded realism of this movie makes Alien feel more invasive and terrifying because it's not like this fantasy world that you're coming into. You're coming into somebody's like workspace where you're very close with the others. And
Right.
it feels like this is a personal setting between you and this movie. Like you're just kind of drawn in instead of being on the outside looking at this fish tank with all these pretty little aliens on the inside. The alien design won an Oscar. So H.R. Geiger, as you said, designed the
Mm-hmm.
xenomorph using his signature biomechanical aesthetic, and it blended organic and mechanical elements to create something disturbingly sexual and alien.
Not something I
So,
ever thought looking at that, but okay, we'll go with it.
I mean, here's the thing,
I'm
like,
like, wow, that alien's so sexy. That's so weird.
but you know what? Like, if I think it's more in the execution and like the parts of
No, I
the
know, I get
aliens,
it. I'm
right?
just being dumb about it. I just think
But
it's
like
funny.
it's really, really gross though. Like when I always
Yeah,
think about when I first like learned about this movie, I didn't realize that the face hugger was impregnating the person. I didn't realize that. So I just thought chestburster came out of nowhere. I was like, oh wow, that's crazy. And then as I got older and started paying attention, I was like, that alien really likes to stick his thing down that person's throat. Like, and
sure
there
does.
was there was one of the movies where the chest burster is on the person's face and you see it like rippling down their neck, down their throat, like
Oh,
basically like pushing something out of its phallus into their body. And I was like, oh, that's
I
nasty.
think we should have made an OnlyFans for this episode. Catch this episode on the Horror Ghouls OnlyFans.
Right. I don't even think we're allowed to say that on here, like OnlyFans. People bleep out so much stuff.
Well, people are who are only fans of us
Hey, yeah,
will want to listen to this filthy episode on a website that's made only for fans, like obviously. I'm just saying.
right,
Suck on that,
right.
YouTube. S- Sorry. Sorry, that
But
was out of pocket. Go
no,
on.
but yeah, no, it's very sexual. Even the choice to make the aliens all look wet. That's also a choice. The head of the alien looks like something. So, a sperm whale. It looks like something. So, I mean, it's very interesting, but the film also won an Academy Award for Best Visual Effects in 1980. And the elongated skull, the second inner jaw, the lack of any visible eyes, because you don't predator, I'm not predator. Alien does xenomorph doesn't have any eyes. You never see
Mm-mm.
them. It's
Nope.
very intentional. It's basically just to show you that this is a pure predator working off instinct and can tear you apart without even seeing you. The face hugger, and this is funny because you mentioned something earlier. The underside of the face hugger was reportedly made using real shellfish parts to
Oh.
create texture and realism.
Oh.
And that
Why?
that organic part is why it feels so raw.
I don't like it. I don't want it.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's rubber. It looks wet, and that was the purpose. That was a choice that was made on purpose,
I
just
don't
to
like it.
make everything a little gross. So,
Well, thanks for that, everyone. Mm.
um, Ian Holm, who played Ash, he didn't play Ash as a villain. Ash was written obviously to be a villain, but Ian Holm deliberately played Ash as calm and clinical and not sinister. So that's why later on the reveal really worked for audiences because he's not evil in a dramatic way. He's just as procedural as Ripley on his end. He's detached, he's mission focused, and that all comes out in his portrayal. You don't need him to be more clinical or more conniving or sneaky looking like David in the Prometheus movie, but this works because he seemed like a regular human the whole entire time. Yeah, I said that I talked about the milk already, so we're not going to talk about that. The alien being not really being shown. Ridley Scott also deliberately hid the xenomorph in shadows. We already talked about part of why, but it's only on screen for a few minutes. Limited visibility creates fear. And you know, any of these movies where we don't actually see the killer or the big bad or
Hmm.
whatever for a while, it's more creepy. We think about Jaws. Jaws, the shark was only Bruce. Bruce was only seen for a certain amount of time. The first Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy was only seen for a certain amount of time. So,
Beetlejuice as well.
yes, only seen for a
Yep.
certain amount. Yeah, you're right.
Mm.
Only seen for a certain amount of time.
I think it was like
So,
17 minutes or something out of the
yeah,
whole
that
movie.
that's probably the highest amount out of all of them because everyone
That
else is
might
single
be,
digits.
yeah, that might be incorrect. Don't quote me on that, but
But yeah,
something like
so
that. Yep.
but because there's no visibility, your imagination fills in the gaps. And this is the same
Right.
thing that Steven Spielberg said when he was making Jaws, because he was like, yeah, Bruce is broken, and that's not that's why we're not showing him. But it worked out in my favor because the more y'all didn't see Bruce, the more you were freaked out about this shark,
Right.
which It
And the
works.
truth is, he was just effed up and
Yeah,
stuck in the water.
pretty
And
much.
yeah,
Pretty
sorry.
much.
Sorry, Bruce. Yeah.
And lastly, I will say the title design is iconic for a reason. So when you look at the opening title of Alien, the words are a very small font or thin font and they spread apart very slowly. That is designed to create unease before anything even happens because it's a very slow moving thing. There's music behind it. It's kind of creepy because you're just kind of watching it, but you feel any tension there before you even see a character, and that's the choice that they made with that and why they did that, specifically why they did that open title sequence. So those are
Hmm.
my fun facts for this
Fun facts.
movie.
Yeah,
So at this point, do you think it's time?
it is time.
It is time for
It's
us to
time.
rate. So how many bloody X's do you give Ridley Scott's Alien from 1979?
So I automatically want to go seven for creativity. I like all the creatures. I like the face hugger. I like the, even though it is like a horseshoe crab and I hate those very much, I love the chest burster. I love the xenomorph. I love H.R. Geiger's art. It is the Necronomicon, by the way.
Mhm.
I was confused though because Evil Dead uses the
I
Necronomicon, but
know. That's
but
what
the
threw me off too.
Necronomicon is a thing that exists that transcends all of things. It's like a spell book, whatever. We don't have time for that. Anyway, um, I'm giving it an eight because of the extra time Ripley took to get the cat and save the fucking cat. So we're gonna go ahead and give this movie an eight. I can't give it a 10 because it's just not my favorite kind of movie, but it's a good movie. It's done well. Like I said, the creativity, the acting, yeah, eight. It's an eight. Solid eight for me. What about you?
I'm going to go 8 as well.
Wow.
Right? I think that this movie is interesting in the way it's shot. I like the scenes with the smoke and the steam and whatnot. I like how dark and industrial it is. It's refreshing. It's a refreshing change from those sci-fi movies that you watch that have all the beautiful, sparkling, clean lines and
Yes.
everything. Like if you look at a Star Wars or Star Trek, those are great movies, don't get me
I
wrong,
mean, Star
but
Wars is kind of filthy also. Like, it's not, like I'm not necessarily talking about a ship. I'm talking about all
mhm,
of the like the cantina and like the desert and
yeah.
like the,
Yeah, that is dusty and dirty
the
and stuff. You do,
Ewoks.
yeah,
Sorry,
you
Ewoks, you're filthy.
where Jabba is and all that. Yeah,
Jabba, he's so
Jabba the
gross.
Hun.
Blech.
But yeah, so you're right, but yeah, it doesn't give you that. I
No.
also think that this is one of the few movies where the lack of character development did not bother me because things kind of move so fast and all of the characters I'll say the character writing and the actor portraying it, they all showed you their personality
Hmm.
rather quickly. It was very
Yeah.
interesting because you could immediately see that Dallas was no nonsense. Brett is like a kind of like a very quiet yes man. He just says right all the time. Um,
Right,
Lambert,
right.
she cries all the time. She's very mousy. She's scary all the time, screaming like Shelley Duvall. Um, Kane, Kane is like he almost was kind of like the silent, kind of stoic type, but he was a little fun at times. And then you have Ripley, who we already talked about how she is, and we have Ash. So you see all that pretty early on, and so I appreciate that because it did help move the movie along without me saying I don't care about these people.
Right.
I didn't care about them, but not in the not in a way that it was negative. So I
Yeah.
thought, yeah, I thought that was good.
Yeah. I agree.
And
I'll just say this really quick. I'm
mhm,
sorry. When
no,
I knew that I didn't care about any of the people, I knew it's because they all were meant to die. When I was like, oh, they're not doing anything with this, all of these people are going to die. Like, I just was like, all right, well, that's fine. So, because I knew about the cat and I was like,
yeah.
that's
As
okay.
long as as long as the cat was safe.
As
That's
long
all
as
that
he's all
cared.
right. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. There are many times when I see movies and I know everybody's going to die and I'm like, well, I just don't care. But this one I didn't really even think about it. Like as I was watching, I was like, oh damn, that's how they die. Like I
Yeah.
knew when they were in the scene by themselves, I'm like, they about to die. So but but yeah, so I like that. I love the design of the xenomorph. I love the design of the chest burster and the face hugger. I think they're very unique. it's something that across the board, if you ever see that alien coming out of a chest, you know it's a chest burster. If you see something hugging the face, you know it's a face hugger. Like
Yeah.
they're unmistakable along with the xenomorph. I will say though, I still like Predator's design more, but that's just me.
I'm just looking at the art,
Hmm.
just the pure art that he made of I mean all of his art is wacky, but the piece he actually made of the xenomorph is just insane. Like as an actual three-dimensional piece of art. I'm not even
Hmm.
talking about the movie. It is wild. Like the mind you have to create something like that, probably a little wacky, but brilliant. Like
Yeah.
truly, like it's really something. Like,
Yeah.
wow,
I love those type of minds because they create such wonderful things. And I think that this is a gem. All of this,
wow.
the art and everything, it's a gem. And we get this movie that has all that brought to life. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
am
absolutely.
not mad at it. Not
No,
mad at it at all.
no, mm-mm.
But yeah, I don't really have anything else for this
Not
review.
I, not
All
me.
right,
All right.
well, flesh puppets. This wraps up another episode of the Horror Ghouls. An Alien isn't just a classic, it is the blueprints that carve the path for sci-fi horror. But now we definitely want to hear from you, so please slide on down to the comments and share your thoughts before something unexpected crawls out of the shadows. And don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons like a face hugger launching onto its next incubator. Okay.
Ah,
And also, if you crave the funny, ridiculous, unedited version of the podcast, you can find us on your favorite streaming platform. And also, you can follow us on Instagram at The Horror Ghouls because you never know what might be lurking behind the next post.
no.
So, until next time, stay spooky, keep your ass out of alien spaceships,
Hmm.
and if you wake up from a nap and feel something stirring in your chest, congratulations, you're having an alien.
Ah,
Hmm.
congratulations. See you guys next
Yes.
time. Bye.
Bye, guys.